right, welcome everyone to this week's episode of Drunken Jurors with only Nick and Jeff again, per the usual. Now that Adam's never here, I'm Jeff.
I'm Nick, and Adam is married.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, if anyone's wondering, we clearly did put out Drunken Jurors like 2 weeks ago, whenever the fuck the last one was supposed to be. Adam had gotten married that weekend, and Nick and I were obviously in that wedding, so.
And got too drunk.
Yeah, fucking a lot of recovery and trying to. There's not a lot of time to set up anything, so we took a week off. I was supposed to put out an update, and I didn't. So here you are.
I was looking for that.
Here's your update. I'm drinking a Goose Island 312.
I'm drinking water and Wingstop.
Why are you drinking the Wingstop?
It's better blended.
I don't like that. All right, so today, Nick and I are going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about SCPs, or Secure, Contain, Protect, if you know anything about that.
This is what happens when we don't do research and don't do our jobs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we only have a month left, and one of those is going to be a combined episode of the year interview, so who cares? We're just going to get through. Also, if this is something you guys like, Nick and I can make a little series on this.
I love SCPs. I'm a whore for SCP.
Thousands of these fucking things. Thousands upon thousands of different SCPs and just content.
There's literally like a Wikipedia sized.
It's a wiki. It's literally a whole SCP wiki.
Yeah.
You can go to it. They have a whole section for newcomers to join the site, to even write some. There's an artwork hub, which looked pretty cool from me looking through it. I kind of got lost in this website earlier today, just fucking dicking around. So yeah, we're gonna start off right away here with the SCP Foundation was originated in the Paranormal Forum of 4chan in 2007, because where else would anything like this come from other than fucking 4chan?
It's wild that this shit was created in 2007.
Yeah, with how much I cannot tell you how much.
Also,
content.
Excuse that pause. Jeff and I both went for fat sips on our drinks.
Yeah, there's just so much content for only it being 2007. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So it originated in 2007 on 4chan under the Paranormal tag, where SCP-173 was posted by an anonymous user who was later identified as Moto42, accompanied by an image of the sculpture, which is SCP-173, which we will talk about later.
That's a weird one.
It's odd. It's very the whole thing about these. I guess we should do a little disclaimer. These are supposed to be creepy and make you kind of like uneasy.
SCP is one of two things. It's either really creepy, or it's like a jelly bean that, if looked at for 2.5 seconds, will completely alter and rewrite reality.
It's true. It's just wild sci-fi shit.
Yeah.
So initially, this was just a standalone short story, but then many other people started attaching SCP files, like not long after, in the same type of like storytelling. These don't really have. To find the stories, you have to dive a little deeper to find stories about each SCP.
There's a canon, wiki, but like you have to like dig through.
Yeah, so like the wiki is basically like if you were to walk in and someone were to hand you a file and be like, "Hey, so this is our subject." It's like little brief notes about it and why it's in here, or like if they're securing, containing, or protecting it, or all three, or
what class it is, how secured it is.
So this was supposed to, like I said, it was supposed to be a standalone article. But after people just kept adding to it, they finally decided to take away and just move on and make a whole ass wiki where you can like join and like write your own SCPs and stuff like that. How exactly that works, I'm not entirely sure, because I feel like
just become a writer.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if like you had to try to like match up with like other SCP type stuff.
Like rules where like you have to like you have to acknowledge certain parts of the canon and like be sure to like tie it within and everything. You can't just plagiarize shit.
So the wiki.dot website actually does hold creative writing contests to try to encourage more people to write. So I'm reading this just off of Wikipedia on SCPs right now. Back in November of 2014, the SCP Wiki held a dystopia contest in which its members were encouraged to submit writings about the Foundation set in a bleak and degraded world. And then the website has also held 7 themed contests for the opening of a new series, wherein the most upvoted submission is listed at the beginning of the series, and the submissions of runner-ups are listed under an available number of their authors' choosings. So different themes for these contests have been urban legends, science fiction, eldritch horror, history, mystery, nature, and luck. And Nick, would you like to explain a little bit about I guess some more of the fiction lore building into SCP?
So SCP, when you think of SCP, you just think of like an occult big brother, kind of like it has a council. There's the O5 council, and there's different levels of like security. So like I just think like CIA, but with weird shit.
Yeah, with paranormal beings, and
it's not even always paranormal. It's just like there's God.
That's
God
true.
is an SCP.
God, there's just like a TV is one. I'm pretty sure.
There's
the sculpture is literally what you think it is. It's just a sculpture.
One of the creepiest ones are the Reagan tapes.
Yeah, that one. I was reading about that one. That one's fucked up.
Oh, and it's really fucking spooky.
Because like the
so like
one which I'm going to try to talk about is the NBA game one, where it's just a constant repeat of the same NBA game, and everyone that's in it knows that it's a video repeat. Mind fuck. So,
give me a second. There are different. Let me look up the SCP containment types.
Oh yeah, I got them right here.
Okay, walk through those, and then I'll explain the Reagan.
So I'm just going to go through brief. Basic terminology. So there is anomaly and anomalous, which is anything that doesn't follow the rules of reality as we know them. And then object classes. Each anomaly contained by the Foundation has been assigned object class, which this is just from the newcomers page on the SCP wiki dot. So they're assigned object classes, which tell you how difficult something is to contain. The 3 most common classes are safe, meaning containment is simple, Euclid, meaning containment is more complex, and is it Keter?
It's Keter.
Keter, meaning containment is very difficult to maintain. Then there's obviously mobile task force, and then groups of interest, groups of other than the Foundation that deal with or handle the anomalies.
Primary of which will be the Global Occult Coalition, which I will talk about later.
You might as well just talk about it now, or whenever you get to it, I guess.
But the perfect example of like Keter, like the different containment levels is that so the Reagan tapes basically they were videotapes that whenever you put them in a VHS, whenever you put them in a player, they would play a different scenario of Ronald Reagan as during Reagan's presidency being tortured, fucking mutilated, the craziest shit, saying things that don't like announcing nuclear war. And at some, so there's that, and it's VHS tape. It's not going anywhere. So no matter how dangerous it is, which it is very dangerous, as I'll discuss in a second, it is still safe because it's not walking out. It's not walking out, or it's not like teleporting. The reason it was so dangerous is that, like I said, one of them is him like declaring nuclear war on Russia. If that were taped and then sent to the Soviet Union, we're all dead.
True.
But one of the things that happened with it was Reagan heard of it. He wanted to see it. In like strings got pulled, and eventually he was greenlit to see it. He saw like 2 different scenarios, and they absolutely fucked with him. And then the Secret Service broke into the SCP Foundation and stole amnesics. Basically, it's a medicine that makes you forget, but they administered it to him wrong, and then it gave him Alzheimer's, which one of the big controversies about Reagan is he might have had Alzheimer's during his presidency. It's like a 50-50 shot. And that he had Alzheimer's during his presidency. So that like ties into reality a little bit. But basically after the agents administered the amnesiacs or whatever the hell, it just ruined him. And then he died not knowing his own name. So that's Reagan. Those are the Reagan tapes in a horribly rundown way of explaining it.
Yeah. Do you want to explain the Global Occult Coalition? So
Yeah.
basically this whole thing is supposed to be like everyone in the world basically knows that these things exist, and there's like a task force specifically sent out to deal with these things, grab them, because not all of them can be destroyed. Except the Global Occult Coalition wants to destroy them, which is understandable.
Yeah. That's like one of their main premises is destroy.
But they also don't know what happens if you destroy some of them. Like, what if like you destroy one and it does alter reality? Like
which is very plausible. There are SCPs that are like the red spots on Jupiter's sun, or on Jupiter, the two red spots. Those aren't storms. Those are alien ships that are currently in self-repair, and when they do fully repair, they're just going to obliterate the planet because they're a tyrannical species. Yeah. That's it. There's that shit. There's also an SCP I read about that's like, if it feels threatened, it can alter reality and like remove human emotions.
Oh, good.
Humanity.
Oh, for everyone.
From like it can, so like, because obviously this isn't real, so like we don't know these are new human emotions or spectrums, but like let's just say that this SCP gets scared and all of a sudden empathy's gone, and there's no record, there's nothing about empathy that is ever, we don't know the word, we don't know what it feels like, it's just gone. If and like supposedly that like since the 1980s 3 emotions have disappeared this way.
Oh,
SCP wants to contain that. Global Occult Coalition wants to bury it.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
The Global Occult Coalition is basically the UN, but SCP. So whereas the SCP is just like this hidden secret, the Global Occult Coalition is just a bunch of different organizations under the UN that secure, contain, and try and destroy. The Global Occult Coalition was founded in 1945 after the 7th Occult War, aka World War II.
So yeah, their fivefold mission is survival, concealment, protect, destruction, and education. Survival. The GOC has to protect the human race against all paranormal threats, and this mission takes priority over all of the other 4. Concealment. The GOC has to keep the knowledge of paranormal threats secret, and exposure of said threats could lead to mass panic and eventually massive casualties in a wider civilian population. Protect. The GOC always tries to protect individual humans, both operatives and civilians, whenever possible, as long as it does not go against the first 2 previous statements. Destruction. The GOC should not take any risk with the survival of paranormal threats, as the very existence of the anomalous could be a risk to the human race's survival. Education. The GOC should always expand their knowledge of the paranormal threats and to study said threats, as long as it does not go against the 4 previous statements.
Yeah. So whereas let's take this is a great time to bring in a Shy Guy. Do you know Shy Guy's number?
Off the top of my head.
SCP Shy Guy. I got him.
We got him, boys.
096, Shy Guy. Euclid. I'm just gonna rip the description of him from Wikipedia or the wiki because let's be real, this is the best way to do it.
I was gonna say, like, it's there for a
Yeah.
reason. It's where everything is. It's where all the info is. Just fucking do it.
SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. Subject shows very little muscle mass, with preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. Skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation with no sign of any body hair. Its jaw can open 4 times the norm of an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It is not yet known whether SCP-096 is blind or not, shows no signs of any higher brain function, and is not considered to be sapient. So, SCP-096 is this fun thing where if you see it in person, on video, or in a picture, it will break containment no matter what its containment is and kill you violently and anyone else who sees it. It is just a beeline. The only reason there is a description of it and is any rendition of it is because the SCP Foundation literally put someone on death row who could draw, who is a tattoo artist, in a bell, put him down at the bottom of the ocean like a diving bell, like 200 kilometers, like not even, like 5,000 kilometers away from 096, and showed it a picture. I just gave it a picture, like an actual photograph, and said, draw it. SCP-096 then broke containment and ran the 2,000 kilometers, dove down that like 500 feet into the ocean, and killed them. But not before a artist description was presented to SCP. SCP is trying to contain it because there's really no way of trying to kill it. They've tried many times. It hasn't worked yet. They haven't tried to kill it. They've just tried to contain it. Global Call Coalition is nuking that thing into the sun. Like putting it on a capsule and going, bye. One of the reasons 096 is so dangerous is that it was on like a small news station in the 90s, and like someone with like a news station was filming a live report. It walked by, got seen by an entire town. It killed the entire town. There's nothing it could do. It just killed the entire town. So that's 096. Shy Guy, wild.
All right, so I'm gonna teach you guys about the first one that was ever written back on 4chan, which is SCP-173, aka the Sculpture. So this is gonna be straight from.
That one's also really creepy.
Yeah, this one's yet again. All these are gonna be coming straight from the wiki dot. All right, so item number SCP-173, object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. Item SCP-173 is to be kept in a locked container at all times. When personnel must enter SCP-173's container, no fewer than 3 may enter at any time, and the door is to be relocked behind them. At all times, 2 persons must maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 until all personnel have vacated and relocked the container. Description: moved to Site 19, 1993. Origin as of yet unknown. It is constructed from concrete and rebar with traces of Krylon brand spray paint. SCP-173 is animated and extremely hostile. The object cannot move while within a direct line of sight. Line of sight must not be broken at any time with SCP-173. Personnel assigned to enter container are instructed to alert one another before blinking. Object is reported to attack by snapping the neck at the base of the skull or by strangulation. In the event of an attack, personnel are to observe Class 4 hazardous object containment procedures. Personnel report sounds of scraping stone originating from within the container when no one is present inside. This is considered normal, and any change in this behavior should be reported by acting HMCL supervisor on duty. The reddish-brown substance on the floor is a combination of feces and blood. Origin of these materials is unknown. The enclosure must be cleaned on a bi-weekly basis. That is everything about SCP-173, the first one ever written. And
yeah, and then
pictures
it's been
of this,
elaborated on.
yeah, pictures of this are wild, but yeah, it's just the fact that it's this giant concrete structure that by the second you blink will snap your neck. Just dead. Instant dead.
People have written stories about like what happens if 096 and what was that one?
173.
What if 096 and 173 are put in the same room? What happens then?
They should try it. I have an SCP fight club.
I think there are videos about it.
Probably.
Other ones that are there are ones that are just like areas that are like just tunnels.
Yeah.
Like I think the Paris catacombs are a fucking SCP.
Yeah. Also SCP-001 is not open slot. They don't really have
there's like 10
person
there's like 10
yeah.
running.
It's constantly changing.
One of them is literally God.
Yeah.
There's an SCP that is indestructible and doesn't die ever. It is the child of God, and then its brother, the other child of God, is a creature that just calms at everything and makes everyone happy. It can't be contained, but it just makes everyone happy. It escapes any room, any door that it's closed in, so they just let it wander around because it makes everyone happy and it's not harming anyone. They use it to like help contain other SCPs. They use it to like mellow out Shy Guy.
Nice. One that's really interesting to me, I won't go super in depth on it, but I think is really interesting, is SCP-2718. This one, that's just the number they gave it on the website, so you have something to click on. But if you click on it, it's actually constantly changing.
Oh.
There is no actual number. And on the website, it's constantly changing. Like it's 2018, 17, 18, 172. Like it's just,
lovely.
I'll give you a little bit of what's on here for it. Special containment procedures, SCP constantly changing numbers, is a Damarung class cognitohazard. All personnel, regardless of clearance, are forbidden to expose themselves to the description of this article under any circumstances. Do not tamper with this warning without Damarung clearance. Do not discuss the existence of this article with any person. No disciplinary action will be necessary provided you close this article now and clear your browser cache. There's more to it, but it's like a page and a half long.
My personal favorite, SCP-3008, IKEA. Have you heard about this one?
I've heard of it. I've never read into it, but I've heard that there is one about IKEA. Yes.
So basically, it's a never-ending IKEA. It's just a normal fucking IKEA somewhere in the world, and it never ends. There's no exit. They've like sent drones in, doesn't like. They eventually just run out of battery. And inside the IKEA are the employees, which are just SCP-3008-2 are humanoid entities that exist within 3008-1. While superficially resembling humans, they possess exaggerated and inconsistent bodily proportions, often described as being too short or too tall. They possess no facial features, and in all observed cases wear a yellow shirt and blue trousers consistent with the IKEA employee uniform. There's a day and night, and at night, the employees hunt any human that has walked into the store to the point where the humans that walk into the store established little like tribes around the food courts to maintain food, because food is constantly replenished from the food court. And every night it's just waves upon waves, and they build defenses from the IKEA to defend themselves. And then like there are little establishments. They try and do trade routes, but eventually it's like communities get wiped out.
The Plague Doctor is one.
Plague Doctor's good.
Yeah, SCP 049 is the Plague Doctor. He is classified as a Euclid. He is contained within a standard secure humanoid containment cell in Research Sector 02 at Site 19. SCP-049 must be sedated before any attempts to transport it. During transport, SCP-049 must be secured within a Class 3 humanoid restriction harness, including a locking collar and extension restraints, and monitored by no fewer than 2 armed guards. While SCP-049 is generally cooperative and most Foundation personnel, outbursts or sudden changes in behavior are to be met with elevated force. Under no circumstances should any personnel come into direct contact with SCP-049 during these outbursts. In the event that SCP-049 becomes aggressive, the application of lavender has been shown to produce a calming effect on the entity. Once calmed, SCP-049 generally becomes compliant and will return to containment with little resistance. In order to facilitate the ongoing containment of SCP-049, the entity is to be provided with the corpse of a recently deceased animal, typically a bovine or other large mammal, once every 2 weeks for study. Corpses that become instances of SCP-049-2 are to be removed from SCP-049's containment cell and incinerated. SCP-049 is no longer permitted to interact with human subjects, and requests for human subjects are to be denied. If you look at an X-ray of SCP-049, he is literally the mask. Like his bone structure is the mask also. He has a beak and everything. He was discovered during an investigation of a series of unknown disappearances in the town of Montauban in southern France. I don't know what it's called. During a raid on a local home, investigators found several instances of SCP-049, as well as of SCP-049-2, as well as SCP-049. While law enforcement personnel engaged the hostile 049-2 instances, SCP-049 was noted as watching the engagement and taking notes in its journal. After all of the 049-2 instances were dispatched, SCP-049 willingly entered Foundation custody. And if you're wondering, there's even an interview recording that they have on here that you could listen to or read, which we will not do because that is going to be a very long time.
It's creepy as shit. I've listened to it. It's horrifying.
Yeah, it's interesting. One that I want to go into, I guess we should go over a Keter level, the dangerous level one.
So one of the ways that it was described to me, or that I read best describing it, was that they're safe. There is Euclid, there's Keter. Safe is you can put it in the box and it stays in the box. Keter is you put it in the box, it's no longer in the box.
It's
Euclid is the box, if I remember correctly.
No.
What was it?
I think it's the other way around. I think Keter is the box.
No, is Keter the box?
Because Keter seems to be a lot of places. Things that you have to
SCP classes.
This one seems really cool, but it would be hard to describe to you guys because it's pictures and shit. So I'm not going to go into this one, but SCP-2316 is very interesting.
Keter, they are difficult to contain. Euclid require more resources to contain. Which one is
well, let me
Theumiel. Theumiel? Theumiel. Theumiel class. Is the box, I think, is the best way to describe that.
Well, we'll hit up one last one here. Do you have one that you would like me to look up really quick that you think like a Keter level one that you like a lot that I
Oh,
can look
found it.
up?
All right. So safe. If you can put it in a box and leave it alone, it does not escape. It is safe. Euclid. If you can put it in a box, leave it alone, and there's no telling what will happen, it's Euclid. Keter. If you put it in a box, leave it alone, and it escapes with ease, it's Keter. Thalumil is the box. Apelion is there is no box, nothing can ever contain it, and you should just turn your back and run and pray.
Understandable.
Oh god. Okay, we talk about Shy Guy. Hold on. I got you. Let me look it up.
Oh, the one that Nick was talking about earlier, the Tickle monster is SCP-999.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of all the monsters contained by the Foundation are dangerous to human. One of the most benevolent, a glob of orange slime that wants nothing but to bring joy to people.
Yep. And they literally pair it with like its brother, and it calms him down. And they like will put it in Shy Guy's room, and Shy Guy will stop trying to kill everyone.
Season opener is the SCP-1733. That is just the replaying of the same opening NBA game of the season.
Jeff, do SCP-087, as this one is actually kind of spooky.
087. Ah, yes. Yes, yeah, this one's creepy.
I hate that picture.
This will be the last one this will be the last one we do here. All right. Item number SCP-087. Object class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures SCP-078 is located on the campus of Redacted. The doorway leading to SCP-087 is constructed of reinforced steel with an electro-release lock mechanism. It has been disguised to resemble a janitorial closet consistent with the design of the building. The lock mechanism on the doorknob will not release unless blank volts are applied in conjunction with the counter-clockwise rotation of the key. The inside of the door is lined with 6 centimeters of industrial foam padding. Due to the results of the final exploration, see document 087-4, no personnel are permitted access to SCP-087. Description: SCP-087 is a unlit platform staircase. Stairs descend on a 38-degree angle for 13 steps before reaching a semicircular platform of approximately 3 meters in diameter. Descent direction rotates 180 degrees at each platform. The design of SCP-087 limits subjects to a visual range of approximately 1.5 flights. A light source is required for any subjects exploring SCP-087, as there are no light fixtures or windows present. Lighting sources brighter than 75 watts have shown to be ineffective, as SCP-087 seems to absorb excess light. Subjects' report and audio recordings confirm the distress vocalizations from what is presumed to be a child between the ages of blank and blank. The source of the distress calls is estimated to be located approximately 200 meters below the initial platform. However, any attempts to descend the staircase have failed to bring subjects closer to the source. The depth of descent, calculated from Exploration 4, the longest exploration, is shown to be far beyond both the possible structure of both the building and geological surroundings. At this time, it is unknown if SCP-087 has an endpoint. SCP-087 has undergone 4 video recorded explorations by Class D personnel. Each subject conducting an exploration has encountered SCP-087-1, which appears as a face with no visible pupils, nostrils, or mouth. The nature of SCP-087-1 is entirely unclear, but it has been determined that it is not the source of the pleading. Subjects exhibit feelings of intense paranoia and fear when faced with SCP-087-1, but it is undetermined whether said feelings are abnormal or simply natural reactions. Addendum: over a period of 2 weeks following Exploration 4, several members of the staff and students from the redacted campus reported knocking at the variable rate of 1 to 2 seconds per knock coming from the interior of SCP-087. The door leading to SCP-087 has been fitted with 6 centimeter thick industrial padding. All reports of knocking have ceased. And you can look up the documents of all those explorations, except for 4.
SCP, the Class D personnel Those are just like people on death row.
Yeah.
Those are the expendable ones that can be used in experiments.
Well, outside of that, I got nothing else for this. So
I got fuck off.
yeah. All right. So please, if you guys like this or enjoy this type of stuff, let us know. Let us like social media, however, let us know, and Nick and I can try to make a little series out of this because it is very interesting, and we can go more in depth on some, try to find like the stories about how they're discovered and stuff. And I would do it. I would enjoy it because this is interesting. But yeah, definitely let us know if you guys enjoy this stuff, and give us certain SCPs you would like us to talk about. Outside of that, yeah. Outside of that, I got nothing else. So if you go in the description of this episode, you can find the link to our link tree. Sorry, I had a burp. The beers are catching up. You can find a link to our link tree. In there is the links to all of our social medias and where you can find the podcast. Yet again, as I always say, if you're listening to this part of the podcast, you have clearly found the podcast somewhere. So just listen there. Top link is to our Patreon. If you go there, there's different tiers. At the $1 tier, you get access to the movie podcast that Adam and I do monthly. This month, well, because when this really, we'll be going into December. So December's will be the Santa Claus trilogy. So, and then you also get access to our Discord. $3 tier, you get unedited video episodes of all these. So you get to see our facial reactions and the stuff that gets cut out usually.
My eyeballs.
Yeah, nothing too crazy has happened in these last couple because Adam hasn't been here. But the ones that Adam's on, like we get wild. Outside of those, I don't think I got anything else. Oh, tune in. Oh, it's about that time of the year.
Oh yeah,
it's about that time.
Thing that we have to do.
December 17th at 6 p.m. Central Time. Or yeah, December. Did I say 17th? Yeah, December 17th at 6 p.m. Central Time. We are doing our third Taskmaster, our annual end of the year Taskmaster episode that is live stream. So on that day. At that time, we will have links up on our social medias that you can click on and go and watch us live. You get to watch me and Nick do tasks with some special guests to try to win a game show that you get literally basically fucking nothing for other than bragging rights. And those don't even go very far because it's just going to be us blackout drunk being idiots, but it'll be so fun as it is every year. So definitely go and check that out. Yet again, December 17th, 6 p.m. Central Time. So I got nothing. Nick, do the roar.
Meow.
Perfect.